Hello, and welcome to Speed Movie. Today, we're breaking down The Haunting Hour, the series for you. This film tells the chilling tale of a doll with a soul and its eerie interactions with a family. Spoilers ahead, folks. Let's jump right into the spine-tingling details. This ghastly puppet possessed its own consciousness, folks. So a girl decides to take her doll for a beauty day, and man, they doll her up beautifully before heading back home. But get this, her two brothers? They're not fans, finding the doll downright spooky. Displeased, she kicks her brothers out on the spot, dedicating herself to the doll's care. She sticks by it through the night, paranoid her brothers might do something, because believe it or not, everyone except her seems to hate this doll. When her best friend sees it and mocks its looks, the girl snaps, grabs her friend's doll, and just tears it apart. Furious, her mom confiscates the doll, leaving the girl in utter despair. But wait, there's more. That night, the mom brings the doll to her room, sees it smiling in the mirror, and goes,
"So pretty. So well behaved."
Thinking it's way better behaved than her daughter, she hugs it tight. But here's the kicker. She doesn't notice the doll starting to move. This doll had a consciousness of its own, taking advantage of the mother's inattention to reach out and touch her, though she noticed nothing. She even prepared lunch for the doll. The girl was deeply unhappy, pleading with her father to return the doll, but her mother disagreed.
No, let's say you be good for a week, then we'll talk.
Honey, don't you think?
No. Final answer.
The family parted in discontent, and the girl, too angry to eat, was suddenly interrupted by her own screams. She insisted it was all the doll's doing, but her mother refused to believe, considering it nothing more than a soulless puppet. That night, the girl explained everything to her brother, who, concerned for his sister, attempted to persuade their parents to dispose of the doll. However, his mother refused, claiming the doll was more well-behaved than her own daughter, leaving the boy with no choice but to depart. At midnight, as everyone drifted into a deep sleep, the brother was startled awake by strange noises. Investigating, he found the doll sitting in the living room. Both puzzled, and without a moment to think, the father carried the doll into his daughter's room and left, closing the door behind him. Dad snaps awake, folks, and let me tell you, that doll gives him the creeps. They scarf down breakfast, and it's a mad dash out the door. But little do they know, that doll. It's begun to move on its own. Cut to the girl back from school, finds the house deserted, totally eerie. She's looking for some company, zeroes in on finding that doll, but despite a thorough search, it's like it vanished into thin air. Then, out of the blue, she spots this shadowy figure behind the curtain. She yanks it open, and folks, it's just a false alarm. She lets out a huge sigh of relief and keeps on the hunt for the doll. She glances down. Another jump scare, but no doll in sight. Left with no other options, she decides to search elsewhere. The plot thickens as the girl, worn out, ends up snoozing on the desk. Upon waking, her hands are smeared with black paint. Confused and bewildered, she informs her mom the doll's gone missing. Mom's half-believing, half-doubtful races back to the room. And then, from the depths of the house, Mom's scream echoes. They rush to find "Bad Girl" ominously written in black graffiti on the wall. This doll, it's got its own consciousness. But Mom, she's not buying it. No choice left. They've got to find proof that this doll's alive. So, the siblings decide to stash a video camera in the room. As everyone drifts off to sleep, a creepy scene unfolds. The doll quietly gets out of bed and gives the camera a little wave. Come dawn, the boy checks the camera, but the memory card has vanished into thin air.
You snuck into my room and filmed me on a hidden camera?
You're missing the point. The memory card was gone.
No.
Mom's furious, and no matter how the boy tries to explain, she won't hear it. Just then, the girl suddenly collapses. With no other option, Mom rushes her to the hospital. The boy spills the beans about the memory card to a friend, and they decide to crack open the doll to see what's inside. They unscrew the doll's head, peel back the hair, and find "Destroy this doll" written across it. They resolve to check out where the doll was bought, but no sooner have they left than the doll moves again. This doll, it's conscious, alive. When the boy makes his way to the doll shop to uncover the secrets of the doll, he finds the front door locked tight. Luckily, the back door is open. They slip in unnoticed by the janitor. By chance, they stumble upon a basement and head down. Seconds later, another person follows, scaring them into hiding. Turns out, this elderly person is the creator of the doll. The boy shares the eerie happenings at home. The creator reveals a chilling fact. All dolls have souls, And their doll? She doesn't want to be a doll. She yearns to be human. The creator urges them to destroy her immediately. The girl returns to her room to rest, but looks up to see the doll smashing a mirror with a hammer. Mom rushes in, blaming her daughter for the mischief, scolding her mercilessly. The girl tries to explain, but to no avail.
I wish you were my daughter,
says the mom in disdain. The girl, feeling wronged, attempts to follow, only to discover her right foot has turned to plastic. The girl falls and discovers her leg has turned to plastic. The words her mother uttered were actually a spell to awaken the doll. Terrified, she crawls into her mother's room, only to find the doll waiting for her. Attempting to flee, she realizes her hands have also turned to plastic, and just like that, the girl becomes a doll.
A mother can like a doll, but she can't love it.
When her brother rushes back home, everything seems normal again, but they don't realize the obedient and sensible girl before them is actually the malevolent doll. At dinner, the girl, now a doll, prepares a lavish meal for everyone. Her parents, not questioning her sudden change in behavior, shower her with affection, while the real girl sheds tears. That night, the girl manages to throw the doll into the trash. The next day, still suspicious, the brother goes to the bin and, pulling open the collar, discovers something amiss. The woman clutches the doll, apologizing non-stop. Astoundingly, upon hearing her apologies, the doll transforms back into a human in an instant. Meanwhile, the imposter girl, while running, suddenly reverts to her doll form and collapses. She struggles to rise, but in the next moment, she's obliterated by a truck. The scene shifts. The doll, now tattered, lies abandoned by the roadside. Two little girls squabble over who gets to keep the doll, but are soon terrified away by it. Then, two boys find it, tying its arms with rope and dragging it behind their bike. This act is witnessed by a little girl who rushes to protect the doll. Reluctantly, the boys hand the doll over to her. The girl brings the doll home, where her grandfather finds it peculiarly sinister, but she's oddly fond of it, insisting on keeping it. As she gently cleans its face and tidies its hair, she stumbles upon a chilling message inscribed on the back of the doll's head. "Destroy this doll. This doll has its own consciousness." While the girl is fixing its hair, she discovers a foreboding message on the back of its head. "Destroy this doll." She dismisses it as someone's idea of a prank, paying it no mind. That night, the doll, freshly repaired, is returned. The elderly repairwoman warns them of potential odd occurrences and to contact her if anything arises. Yet, the granddaughter and grandfather don't take her seriously. How menacing can a doll really be? The next day, the girl finds a pigeon on the lawn and casually places it on a shelf before hurrying off. But in the blink of an eye, the doll stirs. In the dead of night, while the girl sleeps, the doll rises and leaps from the bed. It approaches the shelf, fixating on the pigeon. Attempting to reach it, the doll finds it too high, so with a spark of ingenuity, it places a stool in front of the shelf. The noise awakens the girl, and her grandfather, hearing it too, rushes in. Turning on the light, they're met with a scene of chaos. The doll dismantled on the floor, and the pigeon fallen from its perch. These elders crafted dolls with their own souls, urging the creator to destroy the malevolent ones. The granddaughter and grandfather find the doll peculiar. The next day, as the elder arrives at the girl's home, unbeknownst to her, the doll begins plotting a counterattack. As the elder steps out of the car, the doll slowly opens a window and, in the next moment, the elder is knocked unconscious. Soon after, the police arrive to investigate the incident. Faced with their questions, the granddaughter and grandfather explain that they were downstairs at the time, leaving only the doll in the room. The police, finding no leads, decide to wait for the elder to regain consciousness. In the kitchen, the two find it odd that ever since bringing the doll home, numerous supernatural events have occurred. After deliberation, they resolve to dispose of the doll. But when the girl returns to the room, the doll has vanished, though it's actually hiding in a corner. At midnight, as the girl falls into a deep sleep, the doll, seated in the grandfather's wheelchair, silently glides upstairs. This doll, it moves on its own, stealthily opening the door to steal away the pigeon, then heading to the bathroom to turn on the hot water, preparing a meal for itself. At this moment, the noise of the water wakes the girl, who knocks on the bathroom door. Sensing something amiss and opening the door, she discovers the pigeon already cooked. Her grandfather, drawn by the noise and noticing his wheelchair moved, is unable to investigate due to his mobility issues. The girl descends alone in search of the doll. But as she leaves, the doll suddenly appears behind the grandfather, pushing him down the stairs. Fortunately, he survives, albeit with a broken arm. The girl rushes to the kitchen. There, she finds the doll seated in the wheelchair. She grabs a frying pan, planning a sneak attack from behind, but to her relief, turns to find only a wig. However, in the next moment, the doll, armed with a knife, appears behind her. The girl whirls around and with a swing of the frying pan, ends the doll's existence. Yes, the doll is vanquished just like that.